are you guys? Happy new moon in Pisces. This new moon, um, I have been learning the power of forgiveness. Me, Scorpio sun, um, Miss Hold a Grudge extraordinaire, not knowing how to forgive and not really being apologetic about not forgiving. The new moons usually work on me like ahead of time. Like I always am like sometimes I don't okay, fine. A lot of times I don't really pay attention to the energies. I just trust that I'm on track cuz I am. I'm in touch with energy. I listen to it. I trust it. I obey it. I live by it. And so I've been purging a lot of baggage by just not giving a fuck anymore in a way that it's like truly, you know what? It is what the motherfuck it is. When it comes to my relationships with people, my Pisces is in the seventh house, which would make me a Virgo ascendant, and so I'm seeing that I have given a damn like way too much for way too long, and that's causing me to like not live my best life. And at this point, I just don't care anymore. It's kind of like, well, I'm not where I want to be. Things aren't perfect. I don't care. I let that shit go. Like, I don't care anymore. I don't care if my life isn't perfect anymore. I don't care about being a perfectionist anymore. I don't care if I don't have everything I want. If my relationships aren't perfect, I don't care anymore. Like, I don't care if what other people want from me as far as their own inner perfectionism. I don't care about the shade people throw. I don't care about who doesn't like me. I don't care about how I feel about it. And it's not like I'm letting go of self-care. I feel like it's the beginning of a new life for me. It's the beginning of me like putting care into what I can do, what what I want, and letting the chips fall where they lay. Not that there isn't frustrations involved. Like last night, I was about to see a new client for spiritual counseling, and me and her were both like feeling the vibes, the energy. That's really important. I love that. Like I felt like she trusts in me. I trust in her to, be responsible and involved in her process. We had a great talk, and she was going to come meet me. I had my office set up and everything perfect for her. I had rested and got rid of a migraine with doing Reiki on myself. I spent most of the day yesterday making my 12th house solve using my Blue Lotus tincture, and I'll show you guys. Right here, I have in in this glass container the solve that I made, and I have here the the tincture. I think this is 2 fluid ounces of it, and then I still have like this much left of it here. And so I was working really hard on that yesterday. I never know what I'm getting myself into. I kind of just like go into things, and I do the damn thing. I trust what spirit when spirit gives me an idea, and I go into it. And so I'm trying to do so many things. And today I was supposed to have a client do a bachelorette party in a treehouse in East Atlanta with Llamas, where I was going to do tarot and astrology reading. Come to find out, she's texting me last night, and she's like, "When you pull up, text me." And I'm like, "You're texting me like it's tonight." And she's like, "It is." I was like, "Well, every time we communicated, we've been communicating for like over a month." She said November 17th. And I check back at my text messages. I check back, and I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. I put everything on my calendar as soon as people tell me things because, I have so much going on. I have to stay organized when it comes to my dates and times and stuff. And so my new client was supposed to be here at 8:30 last night. I was supposed to be at the event by 8 p.m. It's past 8:30. Um she's still not here. My new client's not here. This is very Pisces moon. This is very Neptune energy. It's okay. That's how I was feeling. I'm like, I was a little bit like, on a scale from 1 to 10, how mad was I? I had potential to be very angry, but I knew what was going on, you know. So I canceled. I knew what was going on with the spirit world, so I went with that scenario instead of with uh my ego scenario that it was trying to conjure up for me. It could have gone really bad. I could have handled it really bad. But my Libra moon most of the time doesn't let me. All right, so my new client pulls up. I mean, I text my client and be like, I'm sorry, I have an emergency. We'll have to reschedule. She wasn't here yet. She wasn't like physically in my office space. And she's like, oh my God, I just pulled up. And I'm like, oh shit. And so I don't know why, but I went in the hallway out here and I started turning off all the lights, and I was looking for like a back door exit for some reason. I was like, and so she calls me, I answer the phone, and I told her the truth. Like, in my mind, I wanted to lie. I was like, I'm just going to tell her that I have an emergency. Somebody in my family called. Because people will be able to accept and forgive that more than the truth. But I just blurted out the truth. I was like, one of my clients told me the event was on the 17th, but it's actually tonight. And I'm sorry, but we have to reschedule and I have to go. Shit, she was just kind of like, well, forget it then or whatever. Of course, she was pissed. I was pissed. And probably my client was like mad because she just knew she told me the right dates, because she texted me. She was like, I've been saying the 16th, just the first email I sent you. And I was like, I didn't respond to that. I was like, really? No, really, but not really. I wish that was the case, but it's not true. And I didn't respond to her making her wrong or whatever because I didn't want to ruin the good time. I just was like, okay, I'm going to go do this. She already paid. I want all the girls to have a great time. I'm going to have a great time. And I text my client while I was driving there, was like, come in tomorrow or on Sunday. I'll give you a free session. If it's not your fault, I apologize. That was so hard for me because I wanted to be like, well, at least you need to pay half. I swallowed my pride. I let it all go. I allowed the chips to fall where they lay. There was no perfect response. The woman that I was doing the event for texted me and was like, you know what? I did see where I told you the 17th and I apologize. Thank you for coming. That meant the world to me. Because a lot of people don't even admit when they're wrong when it comes to situations like this. Most customers in a lot of situations will be like, I'm right always and I don't care. And I'm never going to admit, like, their ego gets in the way. But she apologized. She was thankful, and I feel like everything kind of like was heartfelt and worked out in like a schoolhouse ABC after school moment. Like, it was just kind of like it all got resolved because I let go control. I had completely lost control of that situation. I didn't know what to do. I made the decision I made. And a lot of times in life, because Pisces is about looking back. Pisces is about looking back, not just within the past 6 months. Yeah, but the past 6 months for me have been a fucking blur. I've been so like wound up in the drama of my wounds with other people. Fuck that shit. I'm looking back at it and I'm like, what? What have I been doing? What have I been thinking about? Why? Why? Fuck it. Fuck it. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And just continue to let it go. And I don't know what that's going to make my life be like, but I like how I feel a whole lot better. Like this, and again, it's not that I'm being fake and like denying my feelings. I completely acknowledge that, like, while I was driving, I was like, I don't have to go. I could cancel it and keep the money. I'm completely in the right. A part of me didn't want to go. I wasn't prepared. Like, I wasn't prepared physically. Like, I wasn't made up. I was at my office all day. I basically had on sweats. Like, in my mind, when I thought about doing this event, I had planned out like my outfit. My hair was going to be like in scars. I was going to give them a moment, so that they can feel like they're having an experience. I barely looked over their astrology charts, even though I don't really need a whole lot of prep when it comes to looking at astrology charts. I've been studying astrology since I was 13. And so it's like a snapshot for me. I can basically look at it, scan it, and you can ask me a question and I can just tell you, looking at your chart, looking at the transits. I'm not ever really anymore nervous about that, but I am a performer, and I like to prepare. I like to rehearse. I like to write notes. I like to give people the deepest and best experience that I can offer according to what I have, and so, and I feel like I get that from being like a performance art student. And I like, my teachers always told me to perform, to practice as if it's the live performance, so yeah. And so I wasn't pleased, but I knew that everything would be okay. Because people don't really have a lot of experiences like this, where they have like a group astrology and tarot reading anyway. And so I just let it all be, because that's how the universe works. I might have a plan, but then the universe and everybody's energy together just takes over most of the time anyway. And yesterday, that's what it was like for me. It was like it was like the butterfly effect, because I had this feeling this whole time I was communicating with this chick for like over a month, that something wasn't right. Like, I'm like, I would try to get her to be more organized. I would just ask, like, can you send me all the information, this, and this, in an email? She would text it to me. She was texting me within 2 texts. Like, her mind, like, by the time I got finished dealing with her, I knew that she wasn't okay. She's not an organized person. Okay. Okay. But I'm glad that I wasn't like an hour away, like, as well. Like, she was just in East Atlanta, in a tree house with llamas. I didn't even know that existed. I mean, that gives you a clue to what you guys could possibly hire me for. This is all very Pisces. Just very random, like a dream, you know? Like, last night was like a dream for me. I'll never forget it. I took pictures and video, but it's off my phone, and it was at night, and everybody just everybody was like in their PJs. I know they don't want me to post those pictures and post those videos, so I'm not going to do it. I'm not even going to ask, because they'll reluctantly say yes, but they really won't. No woman, no, most women don't want pictures posted of them, and they're not prepared, and they're not looking their best. So I would love to share like the photos and video and stuff on my Instagram, but I'm just going to just charge that to the game. Nobody was really prepared. Because she also left it as a surprise for the bride, you know. I've been getting interesting requests from people. I'm working on these written astrology charts. I love doing the astrology charts, but most of the time I do them verbally. I record it, audio, and then I send it through audio files, right? Because it's real. You see how I just kind of just talk, and I trust that. That's why I do it like that, and it comes out great. But me writing, she wants it written for her mother and her sister, and she wanted me to do evolutionary astrology reports for them. And so while I'm writing this, I'm like, are you roasting them? Like, do you want them to cry on Christmas? Like, but I'm still going to do my best. Like, I feel like that's a weird request. I feel like even at the event last night, the lady that invited me to come was trying to pull things out of her friends that they didn't want to be pulled out of them. Like, don't do that, guys. Like, don't order astrology readings and tarot readings for people and then sit there and be like, don't you want to talk about your relationship? Don't you need to talk about that? I could tell just by her energy, she was not open to talking about that. Not like that. Not in front of her friends. Not in a way that would be like, and I told them, I told her, I'm like, we're not here to do shadow work. This is girlfriend slumber party time. Like, let's not do that. Like, we're not doing that. So yeah, I feel like the evolutionary astrology reports for your mom and for your sister is just like a gift, but I feel like it's more for her because she wants her family members to see things that she's probably been trying to tell them or say to them. And I'm like, Merry Christmas? Question mark. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I know my family would be like, you can have that. They'd be like, thanks. Nah. what you trying to what are you trying to do? They'll be like, I don't know, like that could be traumatizing if people aren't ready and asking for that type of advice. But we're just gonna roll. We're gonna roll with it because, the universe knows what she's doing. And a lot of people that contact me to do readings and group readings for other people, and it's a surprise, they're empaths. And sometimes you empaths can be like super controlling. I used to be like this before I went through my healing process. Empaths can be really super duper controlling, wanting other people to change because you want your environment to reflect you. So you want to feel comfortable so bad that you're willing to make other people feel uncomfortable with the disguise that you're helping people. And I know that you're here to help, but you have to learn, and one day you will learn that that doesn't help anything. That just makes people mad at you and makes you have to eat negativity even more. Because people will get you back. They'll get you back, and then you'll be ostracized. And, what I've learned and have accepted is that everybody has their own journey, their own time to learn what they need to learn. And that's why I'm here in my office and I charge for my services. That's what I tell all empaths. Charge for your services. Do not try to heal your friends and family. Having gifts is like being a performer. Like Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage. And like it has its cast and members, and we are all we all have our role. All human beings have their role to play. So you can't force people to play the role you want them to play so that you can, I guess, be the boss, be in charge, be in control. That's like, that's narcissism. And a lot of empaths are narcissists with the disguise of I'm just being nice. It's like a controlling being nice. I'm being nice, so you have to like love me. I'm being nice to you, be nice to me, bitch. It's just kind of like, well, I'm like in a different mode than you. Like I'm not in the hug mood. I'm not in the talk mood. I'm not into the purging mood. I'm not in the healing mood. I'm not in the tell you my business mood. Back off. And it took some of my closest friends telling me the truth like that. Be like, well, Asia, that's great. I don't want to change. So what are we going to do? Yeah, I know that I'm being a bad person, but I don't care. So what's next? And then I'm like, oh. Well, that's honest. What can you do but respect that? And either don't fuck with that person no more, or or fuck with them and leave them alone about that, whatever it is. Because most of the time, it doesn't have anything to do with you guys. It's personal between maybe because I've always like an avenger. I try to make everybody be wholesome and pure and righteous. That's my job. If invited, if you invite me. New moon in Pisces, surrender. Surrender to not giving a fuck. Just don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck. In the best way. Yeah, it's nice. It's like I don't have my shit together and I don't give a fuck. If there's things I can't do anything about right now, if the idea hasn't come to me on how to change it, it will. And also parts of me I realize haven't even asked God for help. Haven't even asked the goddess for help. Haven't asked Mother Nature. Haven't reached out for help. A lot of my issues that I've been having come from me looking to other people to save me. I haven't asked for the proper energies for help. And so, you know, I've just been looking inside when I be like, you know what, I don't really care anymore. Like things are just going to be imperfect if they're imperfect. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with what is. And then that leaves an open space for me to see, you know, who I've been relying on and why it hasn't been working. Instead of feeling frustration, worried, anxious, overthinking, fighting with other people and projecting, not sleeping, not eating right, just kind of driving myself insane and going around in circles with the same issues over and over again. Dropping the issue and being like, fuck it. I can't change it. I can't move this mountain. Leave it the way it is. And I'm just going to focus on what I can do. Then all of a sudden something else arises. Like, have you prayed about it? Have you asked for help? No. Who have you been asking for help? Who have you been expecting? A lot of my frustration comes from having expectations of other people to be something in my life, to fill certain gaps. That's one. And then maybe another is just kind of like holding in all of these wants and desires and not asking. Asking. So that I can receive the correct path. You know, it's interesting when you have some sort of, you know what, letting go. Then you've been like, what have I been doing? And then you don't beat yourself up about that either. You know, it's okay. It's all good. And I know I probably showed you guys shoddy video of my solves. Like I did. I know I did because I'm like pointing the camera and not really looking at where it is. So here's a solve. It has blue lotus, lobelia, myrrh, and peppermints. Okay. And some of these, well, the flower I made into a tincture. The blue lotus flower I made into a tincture. And the lobelia I soaked in oil. And I'm mailing this stuff out, some of this stuff out today. Thank you to all of you who have ordered and who joined me on Patreon. That's how you can get these things. I will also, with this package, be sending out a 12th house herbal blend that you can either soak in tea or wine, because the blue lotus flowers aren't very water soluble. I'll show you. They're kind of very dry. I tried to crush them in my mortar, and no oils or anything really came out. But I made a tincture with them like over a month ago, and it took all the juice out of it. I suck at this camera with this phone. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Okay, so this is what the blue. All right, this is what the blue lotus looks like. Dry. It's very colorful. Now, it looks purple to me. It looks more blue on camera, I see. And the tincture turned out more yellow because of the pistils. And then here's the it's dead. It took a month I made a tincture over a month. And then I pressed it in cheesecloth. And the tincture, the salve, I know you guys probably don't know what blue lotus smells like, but okay, so the top note, it smells like peppermint, but if you can like smell deeper into it, like the blue lotus flower is very intoxicating. It's like a mid to a bottom note, and it's the process of making that salve was very interesting to me. I really love it. Like it I don't know, I love stuff like that. I love science and working with herbs and nature and the effects of it and how it works together with us. I really hope you guys get a chance to experience. Now, I only have those 2 salves made because I basically only have 2 orders of them. But you can order them on my website. If you join on Patreon, now you probably won't, because I make something new every month. And next month, my intuition keeps telling me to make something with Venus energy, heart chakra. Last month, it was Venus in retrograde. But this month, it's like more Venus for some reason. And most of the time, my intuition is like on point. Again, my eyes aren't glued to the stars. I'm going to get an astrology planner so that I can keep up with it more, but I kind of like the fact that I am in tune and I listen, and then when I look at what's happening and when I finally do look at it, I'm like, "Oh, that's why." Cuz last month I made a spiritual bath tea for Venus in retrograde, cuz the inspiration that came to me was the resurrecting the feminine. But this month coming up, the universe wants me to focus on love. Love. Just love in general, I guess. Like, almost like a romantic love, like a love potion type thing. I don't quite know what I'm going to make yet. I know it's going to be like a herbal blend and some soaps, because I keep getting this vision of like making soaps with it. But this month it was all about the blue lotus. All about the blue lotus flower. I've been smoking them. I've been eating them. You know. But anyway, guys, get into the 12th house solve that I made. You put it on your third eye, and I also put it on my feet after I made it. It really did have an effect. I felt very like veil open, but in like a positive way. It wasn't scary. Some of those herbs I use, when I use them alone, like the lobelia, it feels like weed, like a high, like kush, and it was kind of a violent entry into my wounds, and I'm like, ooh, good God, you can't use that by itself. It needed something else. I mean, after it was finished taking you to like your darkest spaces, it kind of like goes like this. Okay, you did a good job. You're doing good. Okay, and the blue lotus flower isn't violent. It doesn't violently take you on a journey, but it does take you on a ride, and you're like, oh, ooh, that's a bump, but oh, okay. It kind of quiets down your wounds and helps you be present to create. And then you get sleepy and hungry, like weed, you know. All right. All right. This video is way too long, and most of you guys probably aren't going to listen to it that long. But if you happen to still be here, thank you for watching, liking, subscribing as we grow and learn together. I love all you aspects of nature's spiritual warriors, gods and goddesses, and mystical creatures that are here on this plane with me. Thank you for all of your service and light. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.